Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am so excited to be with you again today. We are still using the Flowering Tulips Bundle, which is this beautiful stamp set, and these tulip dies, which are amazing. You can see how gorgeous it makes these tulips on this card. We're doing this fun ZFold card, and see, it looks like a Z. That's why it's a ZFold. And I'm going to show you how to put the dies together to make these gorgeous tulips. So simple, so easy. This is the gorgeous Tulip Fields Designer Series paper, which is absolutely gorgeous. So definitely check that out in my online store. I will link it in the description below. And I do have a guide for you. You can find it on my blog, Inky Hands Warm Hearts. It's in the description below for how to assemble your tulips once you get the tulips dies. It's very simple of what pieces you need. I did them in the different colors just to help you, but obviously you're going to use the same color. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. So stay tuned and let's go ahead and get started. I also chose to use the layering circles today. I have this circle for the inside here. And I also have the circle with the scallop circle, and that is with the layering scallop circle dies, the scallop and the smooth. So check out those dies as well. If you watch my YouTube videos, you know how much I use the layering circle dies. I pretty much use them every single week in my videos. So definitely don't miss out on that. I'm going to move my card to the side here, and I am going to show you how to make the Z-fold. So the way the Z-fold works is you are going to take a half sheet of cardstock, which is 8.5 by 5.5 inches, and you are going to score it at 4 1/4 and at 2 1/8. So you're going to grab your Simply Scored, put it in, you're going to score it at 4 1/4, 2 1/8. 1/8 is 1 tick past the 2-inch mark. That's going to give you your 2 score marks, which you need to make your, ooh, sorry about that. I got caught up here next to my trash can is where I keep my board, and it got caught up when I was trying to stick it back in there. So to use your piece, you're going to go ahead and fold it in half, and we're going to burnish along that score line. And then here is your other score mark, and we're going to pull that back and burnish on it. So that's how our Z-fold works, just like that. We're going to go ahead and attach our Designer Series paper, which is 2 inches by 5 3/8, and we're going to go ahead and put one right here and one on the inside right there. And I'm going to use my seal adhesive, so I'm going to grab that. This is a beautiful paper, and I think you'll be pleased with this gorgeous Designer Series paper. There's that one. And let's do the other. That's where I pulled my colors from the Designer Series paper for my card. So there are the pieces so far. Now on the inside here, we're going to use a piece of Petal Pink. And the Petal Pink cardstock is 3 3/4 by 5, and it leaves a nice little border around the outside. I really wanted the pool party to show, so that's why I left a wider border around it. So again, this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. There we go. So that is, as you can see, our basic card. Now we're going to do this little element here, and of course we're going to stamp our stamp, which is super cool, isn't it? It says, "You're so thoughtful. You're so thoughtful" down here, and then inside it says "Thank you." And we are going to stamp that on one of the smooth, layering circles. I'm just having a catastrophe here today. This is the 4th largest. Everything just keeps falling, falling, falling. All right, that's the one that's gonna go right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bring in my Granny Apple Green ink pad. And I am going to ink up my stamp. Sorry, I brought it too low. There we go. I just like to have it near me so that I make sure I get it nice and centered. And there is that. We're gonna go ahead and just put that to the side. We'll use that when we assemble our card at the end. I'm just gonna put it out of camera for the moment, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean my stamp real quick. Because if not, I end up putting my hand in it or something. That won't be good. All right, so let's talk about assembling our really pretty focal point here, which is going to be this scallop circle and this larger. So let me show you which ones they are. This is the very largest scallop. And I went down 2 circles, so I didn't use the largest circle, I used the second one down. So they're these 2 right here. And we're gonna assemble our flowers, and they're gonna be attached onto this piece. So we're gonna do 3 tulips. And with the 3 tulips, we're gonna need 3 stems. So I cut 3 stems out of Pear Pizzazz cardstock. And then I wanted to have 3 leaves. So I have 2 large and 1 small. Those are the leaves. Now we're going to assemble our tulips. And just like the diagram, we need, for the largest tulip, we need 3. We need this little funky looking die cut. I'll show you. This is it right here. I'll pull them out so you guys can see them. The cool thing is that they do give us 3 of these. So you can cut those 3 out all at once, and we're using Poppy Parade. So that is our color that we're using. So you'll have 3 of those, and they're all, like I said, there's 3 of them already for you on your sheet. You're gonna need 2 of the medium. Now they only give us 1 of those, but you'll need 2 to do the 3 different sizes, because you'll use those for the 2 largest tulips. You'll need 2 of those. And then you need 1 each of these funny looking tulip pieces. Here's this one. Here's this one. And here's this one. So 1 each of those, 2 of the medium sized, and 1 each of these small ones, 3 of those, so that you can get the 3 tulips, okay? So that's basically what you need to get started. And I'm gonna show you how to put them together. I'm gonna move this card to the side here, and I'm gonna move this one out of the way. All right, so we're gonna start with this tulip. It's the large one right here at the top, okay? So it comes, when you die cut it out, it has these perforations in them so that you can bend them. So it makes it super easy for you. So you're gonna flip it over to this side, and these are gonna get bent, and they're gonna form, see, your outside of your tulip. And then you're going to tuck your other 2 pieces, just like that, to make your tulip. Now, that's what I used, and that's how I got this tulip right here, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up. And what I did with my bone folder is I bent my cardstock a little bit to just give it a little bit of dimension. And I'm gonna put a little bit of wet adhesive just at the bottom. And I'm going to attach this piece right there in the center. And because I didn't put the glue everywhere, I can kind of mold that piece to kind of have a little form to it, so it's not so flat, okay? Then our next piece, we can do the same thing. We're gonna go ahead and kind of mold it and give it a little form, so when we tuck it in there, it has a little bit of dimension to it, okay? So we're gonna attach this one, and I'm also gonna put adhesive just at the bottom, and I'm gonna press that down just at this bottom section. Okay, and so I don't have any adhesive there, so again, I can give it some curve. Now we're gonna close our flower, just like that. All right, so I am gonna go ahead and put adhesive on this side of my flower. Close it. I'm just gonna hold it real quick. And then this is gonna touch right in this corner. So I'm just gonna put along this inner part like that. And I'm just gonna hold it for a second until my glue sets. All right, so there's my first tulip. Here comes the next one. So this one's gonna also have 3 parts. These 3 right here, just like this, okay? So again, the dies come with a bend in them, and this is going to be our big tulip, okay? We're gonna tuck this piece here and this one in the back, and there's your large tulip, okay? Same as I did last time, I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna give it a little bit of bending, and I'm gonna put adhesive in the bottom. And I'm gonna go ahead and attach this right in. I'm gonna stick it up a little bit right there and kind of to the right and a little bit angled. And I'm gonna let it grab, and then once it's grabbed, I can go ahead and mold it once it's has its adhesive adhered down there. And the same with this. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna kind of give it some dimension. And again, I'm gonna put adhesive in the bottom, and we're gonna attach that piece like so. And I'm gonna get it to bond at the bottom, and then again, I can kind of form my little tulip and give it some dimension. Now this is gonna close like this. So I don't want this to flap open, so I'm gonna put a little bit of adhesive, just a little bit at the seam right here, right where it folds, so that it will grab and hold. And I'm just gonna hold it for a second for it to grab, then I can mold this part open a little bit. And then we're gonna glue this piece down. And again, I'm gonna give it a little curve, and I'm gonna put adhesive on this section of the flower, like that. So there is our larger tulip, the one from this side. Now we're gonna do our last tulip, and it only has 2 parts. Again, it also folds at these curves. So we're gonna pull those in. And then this one is going to tuck right there, okay? So just like I've done to all of them, I'm gonna give it a little form. I'm gonna put a little bit of adhesive at the bottom, and I'm gonna insert it, but I'm gonna make sure it sticks out slightly right there. And I'm gonna push down at the bottom where I put the adhesive, and then I can continue to curve it. Same here, I'm gonna close these pieces. Just like that. And they're gonna overlap. So I'm gonna put adhesive here where they're gonna touch, and right here in this crease. And I'm just gonna hold on to it. And then I'm just gonna kind of bend and give a little form to this tulip. Now, I wanna add some more dimension. Whoops, this one didn't stay stuck. Let me try one more time. I probably should put a little bit here to grab as well. Let's put that one down, and then let me hold it a little bit longer, and hopefully that second bit of glue will help to grab it. So I wanna add a little bit more color and give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Poppy Parade ink. I'm going to grab one of my doll burrs. And I'm just going to dip it in there. I'm going to grab this first flower, and I'm just going to kind of slide it around. And I'm just going to add some color to the tips. And see how much dimension that gives it when you add that little pop of color. So that one's going to get put down. I'm going to pick up some more color. I'm going to do this large one. And again, I'm just going to deposit color on the edges. I'm not covering the whole bit of cardstock, mostly on the edge pieces. And the same with the small. Just adding that little pop of color around the outside and on the tips give the flowers so much dimension. And we're going to do the same thing with these leaves. We're going to grab Granny Apple Green, and remember these are Pear Pizzazz, but I wanted to go a little bit darker to give a two-toned look, just like the paper has a two-tone look on the lighter and the darker. I wanted to give that same look. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to start on my stem, and I'm just going to add a little color. And you can grab a scrap paper. Let me grab one. And also, you know, run your pieces on there so that you don't get ink on your fingers like I did. But if I don't have inky hands, I'm not stamping, so I'm okay with it. Now these I'm going to go around the edges. And I'm just going to deposit some color. And then I'm also going to come over the top and sponge to kind of get that two-toned and that darker look to the leaf. And again, I'm going to put it down and add some, a little bit more color. And let's do this last one, the smaller leaf. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little more color. There we go. I really want it to resemble the paper, so I wanted to add that to it. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and assemble, and we're going to assemble it onto this white piece here. So let me grab my silicone mat. We're going to put everything onto this white piece. So I'm going to take a little bit of adhesive, and I am going to stick these stems into my flowers here. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to try and open if it's not too closed. And I'm going to try and slide this stem. It is a little bit closed, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe that. I'll put it on the front instead. I thought it might be open for me, but it wasn't. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that stem onto my flower. I'm going to do the same thing here. Make sure, is it opened? This one's a little more opened, but I'm still going to go ahead and attach it to the back. So we'll add that stem onto that one. And then let's do this, the last flower. Now this one is opened, and I am going to stick it inside. So I'm going to put it on both sides, because this one has kind of an opened bottom, so I definitely want to see if I can slide that in there. And remember, this glue dries clear, so you don't have to worry if you get it on there. There we go. All right, so there's our 3 flowers. Now I'm going to be using dimensionals on the backs. And so I'm just going to grab 3 large dimensionals, or regular size Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're going to put them on the backs of our tulips. And we'll just put 1, 2, and 3. All right. And I am going to pull the backs off with my Take Your Pick tool. And I am going to put some glue on the back of my circle. And we will add it onto our scallop. I'm going a little low on the camera, sorry guys. Make sure I don't have any. All right. So we're gonna start with the largest flower here. We're gonna put this one kind of off to the side here. And I'm gonna go ahead and attach some glue onto my stem, but not all the way, okay? And then we're gonna trim that off right where it meets the circle, okay? So there's that one. And now let's do this one on this side, and then we'll have room on the other side for the small one. So I'm gonna leave some room up there. I'm gonna kind of drop it a little bit, and we'll kind of angle that one. So I can see approximately where I need to add my adhesive. So I'm just gonna put it there and then add my stem. And then again, I'm gonna trim it off where it meets the circle. So there's that one. And then let's go ahead and put the small one. So this one's gonna fit here in between. Same thing. Gonna add some adhesive at the bottom. Grab our stem there, and then we'll snip it off where it meets the circle. All right, so those are our stems. Now we have to add our leaves. I'm gonna go ahead and just fit them wherever I think they'll look best. I'm gonna start with this one, and we'll just kind of put this one off like this to the side. I think I like this little curve, so I'm gonna put this one this way, and I'm gonna go ahead and put adhesive on it. And we'll add that one like so. And I'm gonna snip again where it meets the circle. All right, let's start with this side next. So we're gonna put one of these big ones, and let's see. I kind of like this one. We'll put this kind of off like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and have it cover this as well. So quite a bit of glue will fit. I mean, quite a bit of the leaf will be on there. So I can put it right here, and we'll just guide it in. And then again, I'm just gonna snip where it meets the circle. All right, guys, one more leaf. Let's tuck one more in there. Let's see if we can make this one fit maybe right here. That looks good to me. We're just gonna put a little bit of glue. We don't have too much room. And then we'll put this one right here. I want a little bit of that leaf showing, that stem showing. So we'll tuck that one there. I can put a little bit more glue than I had put. I just didn't want to get it on my scallop. And then we'll go ahead and round that off like that. What do you guys think so far? Pretty good, right? I like it. I like it. All right. So now let's bring our card back in. This is going to lay like this. So half of this piece is going to get adhesive, and so half of it isn't. So I'm just going to kind of hold and turn it over. And where my fingernails are, you see, that shows where I need to put my glue. Okay, and I'm just going to hold the same spots again to make sure that when I put it down, we're good. So there is, let's make sure, yeah, no glue. We're looking good, guys, so far. Looking good. Now we're going to tuck this right there, and it's going to be hidden. So we'll go ahead and bring my silicone mat back in. We're going to put some adhesive right here. And then we will go ahead and put our circle right there in the center. That looks awesome. We'll close this. Now let's get our ribbon. Now this is our red linen ribbon. It's in the mini catalog, and I did link it in the description below. So definitely check it out. I'm gonna do 2 rabbit ears, I call them, and then I cross them over. The one that's in the front gets pushed through that hole, that loop I made. And then I'm gonna pull it through And any way you like to tie a bow, feel free. So there's mine. I'm happy with that. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that right there. It'll cover all of that chopped area. So I'm going to use a few of these mini glue dots. I'm going to put one on the back of my bow on the knot. And then I'm going to put two more side by side. So I really want it to be adhered. And I want it to hold really well and not fall off. So 3 is perfect. So they're right next to each other there. Well, if I can get this off of my take your pick tool, it will be. All right. So there's the 3 glue dots. Let's go ahead and press those down onto our scallop circle. So there's our bow. I'm going to trim the ends. I have another pair of paper snips that I use just for ribbon, and we'll go ahead and cut that one there. Maybe this one a little bit shorter right there. That looks awesome. And then the finishing touch are going to be these brushed brass butterflies. Aren't they pretty? I really love them. And we're going to use the pointy end here. I'm going to take a large one and pick that one up, and I'm going to put it like it's flying here on the label, on the circle there. And we're going to take a baby one and put it near it, kind of a little higher. And then I want one flying on the actual card itself. So let's put it maybe right there. The corner, a little farther down, maybe right there. So that you have some on the inside when you open as well. So there's our 3 brushed brass butterflies. That's a tongue twister if I ever heard one. Those are really awesome, so definitely check those out. I will link those also in the description below. We have trimmed our ribbon. I think that we're good. I just have to clean up my mess that I have made. Make sure everything is out of the camera. I think it looks good. What do you guys think? Very pleased with how that turned out. So let me give you some reiteration of the dimension. So we use the layering circles, and then we use the tulip dies. And then we also used the Flowering Tulips stamp set for the inside for the thank you. It has great sentiments. So this was our card. I'm going to move this over. There we go. And like I told you, the pool party was 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. The designer series papers, the 2 pieces, were 2 by 5 3/8. That was 2 of them. The petal pink piece here was 3 3/4 by 5. And then for the scallop circle, I used a piece that was about 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I just used a scrap that I had. And then the basic white circle that's on top of it is about 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then for the actual leaves and the stems and the flowers, I just used scraps of Poppy Parade and Pear Pizzazz. And then for the circle on the inside, I used a scrap as well, but something around 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 would be perfect. And then the ribbon was about 12 inches. So those are the dimensions for that. I hope you enjoyed watching me put this together. It certainly was fun to work with you. I hope that you will check out the description below and see the products that I used. I'd be happy to have you as a customer. If you do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Send me a message and let me know that you need a demonstrator, and I would love to be it. Thanks again for watching. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. I will see you here again soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy stamping!